Death, be not proud, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful, for thou art not so. For those who now thinks thou dost overthrow, die not, poor death, nor yet canst thou kill me. Thou art slave to fate, chance, kings, and desperate men, and dost with poison, war, and sickness dwell. And poppy or charms can make us sleep as well and better than thy stroke. Why swell'st thou then? One short sleep past, we wake eternally, and death shall be no more.
Death is inevitable and it's gonna happen, and I don't think there's any point of being afraid of it, so I'm not really afraid of death.
I think everyone's afraid of death to a certain degree. I think people don't really think about it day to day for that reason. And I think maybe it's more not finishing life as you want to than death in itself.
So am I scared of it? I guess I'd say I'm more intrigued. I actually kind of want to see what it looks like, what it feels like. If it's nothing, then I guess it doesn't matter either way. If it's not, then that's even better. But I'm just trying to live life in enjoyment, not fear what is inevitably to come.
Am I afraid of death? Of course I am. I think it's a scary process that I will face eventually. But because I don't know what's happening or what's going to happen, it makes me scared.
I think about death quite a lot. I think it's important to, as it reminds you sort of how finite your time is and how it's important to not let little things bother you. I think I also kind of think about what it would be like to lose someone you love, in terms of how you need to sort of treasure the time you have with people who are close to you, because you never know when something could happen to them, especially when you sort of hear about kind of stories of like a friend's friend sort of dying at like a young age. I think that's when people really think about it and really think about how sort of precious, the life we have is, and sort of the lives of the people around you are.
I often think of death as something that you shouldn't necessarily push to the back of your mind, but most people do.
I think about it every single day. That's more when I pray. So when I pray, I always thank God for protecting my family and friends, for letting them, live the life that they live. And I always pray for their protection more, so that they continue to be healthy and live their life. So yeah, I do think about it every day.
I've only really thought about it at any length maybe 3 times in my life. Other than that, obviously it can be a passing thought that comes, and I think maybe I'm having a time. It's gonna make me sound like a strange kid, but maybe having the time of my life, playing with friends, just like enjoying a summer day or something like that, then I'll think, oh, like this is all gonna end at some point.
I work in a hospital, so we think about death every day. We're surrounded by death every day. It kind of just, even when things are going well, it just hangs in the air. We're always thinking about how to prevent people's death and how to prolong their life, basically. Not really prevent their death, because everyone dies, but just to prolong their life. So yes, I think about death a lot, all the time, every day.
A good death for me, that I've often thought about, because one of my goals, some people may call this selfish, is to live for over 100 years, 106 years in particular, to the dot. 106 years, that's exactly how long I want to live, because it will mean I'll live up to the year 2100, a milestone for me. So, I know, it's kind of interesting, but a good death for me would be one in which I can reflect upon my life and say, I have lived a meaningful life, and my children, most of them, don't hate my guts. That is when I can actually stay on my deathbed and say, I have lived a good life, and the death I will experience is one in which is a good death.
There's always going to be consequences of death in terms of the effects on the family and friends and, you know, the people that are connected with the person who has passed. So I think it depends on who you ask, and I think you could look at it, death as being either a good thing or a bad thing.
Be at home, surrounded by faces I know and love and have cherished and will take with me forever, and just being able to share with them those last little somethings that I wanted to. I think that's my idea of a good death.
I think a good death is when you've lived good. That's a good death, because you've done everything that you wanted to do in this life. You've lived life to the fullest, and you have no regrets, you have no worries, and you're ready to go, and I think that's a good death.
My version of a good death would be one with no suffering, and also personally to me it's quite selfish, but I would want to die before my partner because I don't want to live without them.
I don't have a question for death, but I have something to tell death. I don't know when I'm expecting you, but whenever you do decide to come, and whenever it is my time, I just hope you decide to be quite gentle with me, because I know that I will be afraid of you.
If I have any questions for death, I guess the biggest question would be why, just simply because, like, especially when it's like with sudden deaths that are so unexpected, it's kind of like why did it happen?
Do you feel any remorse when you see and observe the lives these people lead, and then you swoop in and take it away?
That I don't see the purpose of questioning death on anything. I'd rather embrace him. If it's my time, then I can only hope that I've lived a meaningful life. It's for this reason that I don't really have any questions for death. I just await him, just like any other human on earth.